Hello everybody, I am here in front of the door to my brand new studio, my craft room studio. And so I thought you might like to take a peek inside. So how about if you come along with me and we'll do that. So this is my new studio, which I am really thrilled with. And I'm gonna go through some of the main parts as I design this. There you can see my little stamping companion. Her name is Macy. So I'm gonna start down at this end, and this end is my business end, I'm gonna call it. So I have my office work area set up here. I have my laptop and all of my desk items set up here. And of course, my little stamping companion, Macy, who lies there. And I brought into my studio some older type things that I still had. And in my studio, I do several things, Stampin' Up! And paper crafting and card making definitely, but also calligraphy. And you can see some of the pieces I've done there as well as some that other people have done. And I do jewelry making, really any kind of paper crafting. And so I have a lot of that kind of stuff at this end of my studio. And so I'm lucky enough to have two nice sized windows. And if you caught the posts, I had two blog posts leading up to what I have here today. And I walk you through how I renovated. So this was actually two bedrooms, two girl bedrooms actually, with lovely chandeliers that did not make the cut. And this is what I created. So this end down here that I'm pointing to now is where I do all of my rubber stamping, my card making, and I also do my videoing. And if I have small person classes, I can have them right here. So let's start down here then. And we're gonna start with where I am storing some of my items. So all of it that you see right here, this is Billy bookcase from IKEA, and these are all retired items. And what I do with my retired items is I give them a dot, just a dot from the dollar store, and then I match them together if they have a set of dies. And so the cup of tea, for instance, has a set of dies with it on the back, and I keep that. So these are the ones that I keep. I don't keep an awful lot of what I purchase and what I use. And then I also have some cards that other people have made and some retired items that I have made as well. Down at the bottom, I have some of my old retired stamps, the wooden ones, and these are ones that I really don't want to get rid of. So let's go into my closet here now. And my closet is really older things for sure, some older retired paper, and it has my laminator here, and I've got a work area. I have two of these, and in my old workspace, they together formed my work table. And so these are just Calyx units from IKEA, and I have two of them. You can see some more older stamp cases there. And I have a lot of samples in here. And then I also have a scan and cut, which actually I have not used a heck of a lot, but I would have to say that there are mostly samples in here, and some that I will give away to people and some that I keep for ideas as well. So this is my area where also I'm a bit of a ribbon aficionado, and so this is some of my ribbon. I don't have a huge amount of ribbon here, and then just some office supplies. So now when we go out here, this is where I keep all of my paper. So I'll start at the top actually. So these are some units that my dad built for me several years ago, and they have holes in the top of them for putting ink refills in. And in the old house, I kept all of my stamp pads in there, just like you see these ones here, and they're on a turntable, and these are my retired punches. So I keep everything out so that I can see them. And you can see that I don't have a huge number. And then these are the current punches that I have here. And it just is easy for me to reach them and pull them down. And then one thing I did splurge on is I purchased 4 of the Stampin' Storage, and these fit the 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, and there's 15, so they're a different size, and there's all kinds of different sizes at Stampin' Storage that you can look for. And this is all that I purchased from them though, because I had a fair bit of stuff that was sort of organizational stuff. And these, I store my paper in order of stamp color families. So not all of my pinks together, not all of my blues together, and I find that that works for me. And then here I have my designer series paper, the 12 by 12, and anything that is new and current is on the most that easily accessible, I guess. These are foil papers and also some of our shimmer papers. A lot of the window sheets I have here, and they fit perfectly there. And then the only thing I didn't have, there's enough for 50 here, so I didn't have enough room for all of my in colors. So my in color papers are residing right here. And I do turn these occasionally so that they don't get a warp in them. And then I have some 6x6 here, that's in the new catalogs, and then some of the 6x6 in the annual catalog. And here's what I do with paper that does not fit above. So I ordered a whole bunch of the Tahitian Tide at one point, and I'm working my way through them, but you can see how many I have. So those are the colored ones. And then in here is my white and my vanilla. So this really is my paper rack for sure. And then if we look at the rest of the room, we'll come here first of all to my workspace here, and I can work here. It's a nice, certainly a nice height for working in, and I have made a set of drawers, so you can see the drawers there on the end, and another matching set here. And so these are the things I put at the top that I use most often. So all of my embossing powders are in here, and an older heat tool. Here I've got my sponge daubers and some odds and sods. My, who remembers this, for making splatters, and the embellishments that I have. These are current ones, unless they also have a dot on them. I think I have some that have dots, but maybe not. Maybe I've moved those to another drawer. And then, oh, right here. And then this one here is some retired things, but also my embossing pastes and my brayer, my new brayer. And then this one is all kinds of new stuff. So I try not to keep too much on hand, but I do have some newer items, some Stampin' Blends, because I hate when I run out of one of those or it gets dry, because they do get dry. And then some other items down here. So that's what's in there. Up above, here's some more of my ribbons. So we used to have these ribbon containers here. So I've got a couple that were made. So this is a storage idea here for my ribbon. And this was a friend of mine in my downline years and years and years ago. Her husband made the first one. And then my husband took a what's the word I want? Took a pattern off of them and made a couple more for me. So they work great. These are all current ribbon, and I have a little bit of current ribbon back here too. All of my twines are in there. And then just, again, some old samples, miscellaneous samples if I want to go back to them. Here is, I'll pull back. This is a bit of a display, and the reason why it's display is because when I'm on my lives, you can see this. So I want it to be as colorful as possible. And so these are current items here. Everything is something that you could make if you purchased either from the annual catalog or from a mini catalog. And I keep current stamp sets here. These are annual ones. They are alphabetical. And these are items that I have from the mini, and those are also alphabetical. For me, that just seems to work. And then if we move down, just a little bit of decorative type stuff there. And then my blending brushes here, small ones, which I have not used yet, some larger ones. And then I have my Memento Jet Black and my Versamark pads. And then I have, this was a splurge for me too. I got all of these last year and this is where I store all of my stamp pads. And I've just recently converted all of my older stamp pads to the new version. So they all reside here with the marker, and you can purchase these in the annual catalog. And then I have every re-inker on the top of whatever color family those are. And then this is, I had started purchasing this before we had a Stampin' Blends holder. And so this is for Spectrum Noir. Spectrum Noir, I think they are markers, and it fits perfectly. And what I like about it, you can see here, is that it's got a graduated. So it's out a little further on the bottom, and then it goes on an angle up here, which I just think is great. I can see everything, I can pull them out. Everything from here up is current, and the ones along the bottom are some that are not current. Not everything that is not current is here, just ones that I really like that I think I might use. And then what do I have up here? So up here, I used to have a lot of Tombow because they're great for watercolor. I don't use these as much, but I do love just the color range here. I've got all of my cleaners, I've got my alcohol inks, my watercolor stuff is here, as are my colored pencils, and then I have just some storage with some of our older, and I've used those for different things, some of the old stamp cases that we have. And then I've just labeled, sometimes you know how when you cut something and you decide you don't want to use it, that's what I do, is I put them into our older ones here, and then I can always pull those out really quickly if I need to make something. So that's about everything up there. And let's go down here now. So in here, everybody needs to have a goodie area, right? So this is where I have my goodies. You can see a lot of Christmas ones there. I also have a few samples here, some of that are in the current catalog. And then I have some ideas down here for boxes and things like that, which I might pull out. And in this one, I have my adhesives. So oh, and look at that. I even have a ghost that I could make cookies out of. So I have my refills for my seals, and I have a lot of my multi-glue, which is what I use the most. Then I have my dimensionals, my dots, some cutting blades, and I have the black and the mini and the regular sized, and I have foam adhesive sheets. And down here I have some of our fine tip glue, some of our tear and tape, and then I have a whole bunch of markers. I use the markers a lot because I letter with them for brush marker lettering. And so I go through those a fair bit. And then just some props, I guess, some candles and things like that. This is all retired on this side here. So some retired, I use these a lot for little embellishments or little dies that I've cut, some of our sponges, and then a whole bunch of embellishments that I'm not ready to get rid of. Things for my Carl cutter, both the blades as well as the channel item. I think that's what you call it. And then I have some of our small Stampin' Spots here, and just some stickers that I had from way long ago, and a couple stamp pads. And then one of our, this is to refill my die brush. And then I have some punches. So punches here, as well as my envelope board, and this one here makes a bag. So that's a gift bag punch board, and my envelope, which I do still use a fair bit. And then down here are dies. So these are dies and embossing folders that are retired, that don't have a stamp set that go along with them. So there's not a heck of a lot down here because the other ones are all with the stamp sets. So then if you come around underneath my window, so underneath the window, I have a gallant, I think is how you say it. So sorry, I should say first. So my cupboards were all built-ins. So these were all built by a contractor here in Red Deer. This is a calyx unit right here, an 8 calyx unit to fit the paper in. I already said that is a Billy bookcase. And this is from IKEA as well. This is a Gallant, I'm not sure how you say it. And this is my file drawer. So there's 2. My husband and I put these together. No arguing well, maybe just a little bit, to put them together. And on top, I keep my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine and my old Big Shot. My small mini is there. I keep a guillotine cutter. I use this every single day. And my Simply Scored, which I also use every single day. I leave this out all the time. And then I have just up here, I keep anything that I want to use sort of right away. Any of the really current items coming from the mini catalogs, things that I think I want to create with right away so that they're top of mind. So what's in here? So the top one has the current embossing folders. So I can just pick, these are all alphabetical as well by size, because of course we've got the small, the regular size, and then the large. And then all of the dies that I have. Again, these are alphabetical by size. Some of these, I do some of these as samples, and I just keep those in here so that they're easy to pull out. I have some, this is what I use to put my dies on. So I purchased these just from a buck or two. Let's get one out of here. So this is how they come. They're 5 by 8 inches, and then I cut them down to, I think it's 4 by 7/8 and 6 3/4 perhaps. And so that's what my dies go on. So I just have a few left of those. And then I've got my pieces for the mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss there as well. My die brush inside a box. So this is one thing that I do is this is just a box. I don't even know what it's from. And I keep my foam in there as well as the die brush so that it's ready to go. And I can just pull this out and use it, or I can use it right in the drawer. And then I have, what do I have in here? I've got my, those ones are retired, but these are my masks. So my masks are in here. These are like the Abundant Beauty ones, which are also now retired. I still haven't got those updated. And then I have items from my classes. So when I do online classes, I keep my samples for quite a while. And so I've got quite a few samples in here for different classes that I've done. And I've got a whole whack of classes that you can do at your own leisure. You just download them, you get them for lifetime access, and you can play away and learn. And these are some older items. So I have a lot of old envelopes back here. I have some papers. I have old cello bags, some of our old bags that we had, some that have come from other different places as well. And then I have my annual catalogs down here. This is the drawer that gets used every single day as well. This is where I have all of my scraps. So all of my scraps are labeled by color family. So I have, for instance, Berry Burst and Lemon Lime Twist is in this one. And these are all pieces that are just cut-offs, or I've cut something out of them. And I have all of the colors in here. So I've got everything in here, including watercolor paper and our vanilla and our basic whites as well. Okay, so everything, and I use this every single day. I'm always looking for a piece. I go there first. And then this is some extras. So many of you know that I used to own a store, so we had a good selection. And this is gold paper, so a whole pack of that, and some other packs that have been discontinued that are retired now, so some of those colors you might recognize. And then just a file container. So another IKEA item here, so one of the utility drawers. In this one, I have some kits at the bottom. I have my little, what are they, bins. And whenever I'm creating a card, everything goes into a bin. And I've got one here that I can show you in just a minute. And then this is just a little garbage for when I'm working. And this is some of my electronic stuff. And then I also had built in this great thing. This is not really an island, but I'm calling it an island. And this has got some really great features. So when I do my lives, this is where I work, up here. And I've got storage underneath. So I have my Stamparatus stuff down here. I organize all of my cut cardstock here. So my card fronts, so these are 4 by 5 1/4 for the most part in here. And then I have some larger ones at the back that are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Some old ones. I have some extra note cards and envelopes, and I've got envelopes here. And I also have, because sometimes I don't use a piece of basic white inside, I just have some nice bond paper. And then here's where I have some lint-free cloths, I guess, baby wipes that I use. I have my paper trimmer is here, some grid paper to work on, and my current catalogs, as well as our little mini guillotine. And then down at the bottom are my blocks. And in here, I have my Carl cutter because it can stand up perfectly, and my Archon stand, which is what I use when I am recording. And I also, the little, it's actually a dish rack item so that you can get more room in your cupboards. And that's what I put my laptop on when I'm live, so that I can still have stuff underneath it. And I've got a set of drawers here. So this is what I mean by I put everything into a bin. So that's an upcoming live. And then I have some drawers that really, these are admin type things, but this is a lot of my video stuff as well as Post-it notes that I use an awful lot. And again, some things that are just close at hand if I need them. So I'm sure everybody has drawers like this. And then this drawer is great too. I have my offcuts of foil and offcuts of vellum in here. And then I have different ideas in here as well. So different techniques in here, like shaker cards and my blends and my drips and drops, which is a fun technique using your ink refills. And then all different ideas. So that's all in this drawer here. I keep my heat tool close at hand. So I have a plug-in right there, and I don't want to trip over this, so I have another little holder for it. I did, and you may have noticed, I keep an extra set of larger scissors right there. And then my work area. So the glass mat studio is new, and it is great, and I love working with it. It is glass, and it is a wonderful surface to work on. And I always have lots of light, and I don't have my lights and umbrella lights in right now because I thought they were just too large, but when I am recording, I have other lights on. So everything that I use all the time is in here. So I've got my paper snips, I have all my adhesives. This goes with the glass mat. It's dry right now, but it is to clean your glass mat. My seals are in there and my foam strips. I have the Stampin' Pierce mats and some of my simple chamois. And then if I keep going the other way, I have my glue in my holder and some mini glue dots. I have pencils and markers and my fabric scissors, ribbon scissors really, and a nice ruler because I use all the time. And then I have my bone folders and my take your pick tool, as well as a couple tweezers. So I just keep those. Normally these come out and just go right here, so they just sit. And then I have all of the current embellishments very close at hand, so I don't have to go looking for them anywhere. They sit right here. And these are just old boxes and an old soup can that I just decorated so that it's just not just plain. And I've got my name card here and some cleaner. Let's see. So I do have some mats. Now, one thing that did happen when I was, I didn't even show you. I could put large pieces of paper in there, and I also have some grid sheets in the top. And that was because we, as a calligrapher, we tend to use some larger sheets. And I didn't show you as well. Let me keep going because I have these mats that I got from Costco. One thing that happened when we were designing is that this is actually probably about probably 2 inches taller than what I wanted it to be. So I've got a double mat there that those are the mats, the fatigue mats, and I would recommend those. I think that that's probably about it. You'll see that at my table, I have some chairs as well. These did come from IKEA, and they needed to be bar height because this is I stand when I'm working, and so this is a little bit taller. I have all of my catalogs, so all the old catalogs are here in order of year. I have some different ideas. I have some different books that we've gotten from On Stage and things like that. And then one other thing that I didn't show you is that over on this side, I also have a full set of cupboards. And in those cupboards are paper, old cards that I've been given, all kinds of things in there. And really this is a great room. I'm really very happy with it. It took a little bit of time to design, and but it's a great workspace, and I know that many of you would probably love to have a room like this. And I would say be patient, because I haven't always had a nice big room to work out of. I've had to modify. In fact, before this one, I was in a storage room that had a lot of stuff in it, a lot of boxes, and you may have seen that in my Facebook Live video. So again, I hope you really enjoyed this, and if you have any questions at all, please give me a shout at joe@designwithjoe.ca, and let me know what you like best about my room, what you would change if you were having to do it. Maybe if you would think about where else would I put some things. And you know what? I noticed just the other day that I still have some things in boxes in our storage room. So I will need to still unload those. So everybody have a great paper crafting day, and we will see you again soon. Bye-bye.